Alrighty. It's the 8th of August, 2021, Sunday morning, 6:18 a.m. And we're going to make some stuff up, because it's Sunday, because we can. But first, listen to those birds. When I've spoken to bird experts, ornithologists, I believe is what they call themselves, they say that's territorial. That bird is establishing its territory. So is that other one. My Native American mentors, on the other hand, said that they were singing their song of Thanksgiving. The song they sing before the sun comes up. And the sun coming up is pretty important for birds, because without the sun they freeze pretty quick. You don't want to disturb a bird that's sitting on his nest with his feathers all ruffled up to keep the heat in. You gotta keep warm. So I want you to notice, what are you feeding? See, I love language. I also love where it falls apart. My grandma used to say, she eats like a bird. Talking about a cousin of mine. She eats like a bird. I'm told a bird eats its own body weight in food every day. That's pretty fascinating to me. I want you to notice there are different ways of perceiving, different ways of looking at things. And I want you to ask yourself one question today. And that question is, what are you feeding? What am I feeding? I want you to ask yourself this question in a couple different ways, because I really want you to notice, are you feeding your desire or are you feeding its fulfillment? See, craving something isn't having it. When you feed your assumption, you're assuming it's already naturally a part of your life. You do that by doing what Neville taught, experiencing what implies, what follows your wish fulfilled. See, I don't imagine buying a car. I just enjoy driving a car. My imaginal act for the Bimmer was real simple. Tickle Belly Hill, Emmett in the back seat, drive, because I wouldn't be driving someone else's car with Emmett on the back seat. I'd be driving my car up and down Tickle Belly Hill. Whoosh. See, I fed its fulfillment. The other thing I notice a lot, people will feed this thing, we'll make it up, we'll call it the thinker. They'll feed their thinker. Well, Mr. 20, what do you think about this? What would Neville think about that? What are your thoughts about this thinking thing? See, I'm not a fan of thinking. Well, I'm not a fan of thoughts. I am a fan of thinking. You know, thoughts, they're those little virtual noun things that people protect and defend with all their passion. That's my thought. I'm sticking to it. On the other hand, I'm a fan of thinking, but not letting thinking lead. You see, your thinker wants to lead. And maybe you've noticed one question leads to another question if we're talking about thinking and thoughts. What would Neville think about this? But what if that, Mr. 20? And if that could have happened differently, what do you think would have never ending? And I often hear the phrase, a passing thought. All I had was a passing thought about pizza. And then suddenly my brother-in-law brought one over. My favorite kind. See, that isn't because it was a passing thought. It was an imaginal experience. You see, when people think too much, you know, when they let the thinker, let's make it up, lead, the thinker has endless thinking going on. Endless. Questions, commentary, thoughts, arguments, argumentation. What's the difference between arguments and argumentation? Don't know. But I'm sure the thinker will come up with things to think about that. But on the other hand, a passing thought. No. Just notice it was not a passing thought about pizza. It was an imaginal experience of, pizza. You didn't imagine your brother getting it. You just, pizza. A burp. You do the burp method. You can look that up. You see, there are these cool little things, guys. When you let this be fun, you discover that it's easy. See, I notice you've been doing this all along. Neville taught that too. You can't quit feeling it real. We've talked about this, but you can explore it. You can also quit exploring it. You can refuse to explore it, but you can't quit it. Listen to those birds. Oh my God. You can't quit feeling it real, but you can quit exploring it. See, we invite you to explore it deeper and deeper in different ways. Listen to those birds. By the way, the one right now is talking about a possum up in the tree. See, after a while, you learn the language of the birds. Not just, yeah, that's a magpie. But yeah, that's a magpie. And that's my other little friend. Listen to that cacophony. Anyway, let's finish up so they can do their mischief. I love mischief. I want you to notice, what are you feeding today? Are you feeding your desire? I hope it happens. Or are you feeding its fulfillment? Are you feeding your thinker, or are you feeding you? Because you crave experience. And experience is all about, that's how we teach. See, I teach learning is behavior change. I don't teach learning as the accumulation of facts and endless knowledge that you can write about and put into organizational charts. Learning is behavior change. If you learn with me, from me, alongside of me, through a program of ours, that will involve behavior and perception change. See, when you change, can you believe it? Loving, happy husband, that's a state, perceives the world way differently than swinging single guy. A loving, happy husband, a loving puppy dad, a loving teacher all have something in common in how they perceive the world. Alrighty, those are some states. If you enjoyed this today, I'm going to invite you to a couple things. One, easymanifesting.com. It's a cool little 7-day program. It's a gift. It helps you get the basics. You'll notice what we do there. You'll notice what we don't do there. We don't do affirmations. We don't do sticky tape. We don't do rocks in your pocket or rocks in the sky. 7 lessons exploring the basics of you. That's at easymanifesting.com. We've got something really cool called manifestingmasterycourse.com. We designed that as if you were staying in our little cottage out back, and near where those Maggies are. If you're staying there in that little cottage for 90 days and we hooked up over coffee every morning, yeah, that's what we'd do. 10 to 15 minutes of goodies. Have a great day. Go play. That's manifestingmasterycourse.com. It actually cost about what a cup of coffee costs today, a cheapo one. $97, 90-day program. You do the math. And you can swing into our Facebook group or go to the websites and read a couple hundred success stories that we've bothered to publish. We keep publishing more, but I know there's hundreds and hundreds and heaps and piles of them. We just started categorizing them on Facebook the past year. Meanwhile, I want you to change your experience. Notice, are you feeding your experiences, or are you feeding the thing that just wants endless answers? Feed you experiences. And if you want to do our experiences, join us. ManifestingMasteryCourse.com. By the way, sharing is caring. Those who share the show, those who share the podcast, those who share their lives with us, we greatly appreciate that. Most members send us an update every 7 days. Why? Because we ask you to. And that's what I start my day with. Can you tell how happy I am? I've been up for about an hour answering emails. Ooh, I love them. Alrighty. See ya.